The stars looked different that day. Or maybe it was just me. I hadn't seen them in... how long? A century? 2? My body didn't know. My bones didn't know. But my heart did. I remember the cold. It wasn't the kind of cold that made you shiver. No. It was the kind of cold that lived inside your blood, humming through every vein like a silent scream. Cryosleep wasn't a nap. It was death. Postponed. A digital coffin humming lullabies while your body waited to be reborn. But on that day, I woke up. The glass slid back with a hiss. Steam rose like ghosts of forgotten time, and the first breath clawed into my lungs like fire. My body ached. Muscles screamed. My heart raced like it hadn't in centuries. I blinked through blurry vision, trying to focus on the sterile white lights above. I was inside Keone 7, the interstellar ark bound for a new world. Humanity's last hope, my assignment. I was Rento, 21 years old at launch, Earth University graduate, selected from a million candidates. Why? I don't know. Maybe they liked my smile. Or maybe I was just a warm body they could freeze and forget. They told me it would be a lonely journey. 1 man, 13 women, the Eve Project. I laughed when they said it, thought it was a joke, a stupid government idea to ensure genetic diversity. Quote, they said. Quote, but the program had rules. We were all supposed to wake up together, on the planet. Not here, not now, and definitely not alone. But as I stumbled out of the pod, clutching my chest and coughing like a dying engine, I heard something strange, something that didn't belong in the cold harmony of an automated ark. I heard voices, female voices, laughter, arguing, someone shouting for a wrench. I wasn't the first. My bare feet slapped against the metal floor as I staggered through the corridor. The artificial gravity was still stabilizing. I kept bumping into walls like a drunk. I passed by rows of cryopods, all empty, all open. My heart dropped. They were already awake, all 13 of them. The ship's AI, ANA, Artificial Navigation Assistant, should have maintained the sleep schedule. But her soft voice never came. No greeting, no explanation. Just silence. And then the door to the command hall slid open. Warm light poured through like a portal into another world. Soft, flickering, alive. Not sterile like the rest of the ship. And there they were. 13 girls, some sitting on crates, others sprawled across the console chairs like queens of chaos. Someone had dragged blankets and pillows into the middle of the room to create a makeshift nest. Empty food packs lay everywhere. Someone had turned the holographic projector into a fireplace. Another girl stood on a table with a wrench, waving it like a sword. And all of them turned at once. 13 pairs of eyes, 13 expressions. Shock, surprise, amusement, interest, suspicion. And then, a silence deeper than space. The one closest to me stepped forward. She had sharp grey eyes and black hair in a short, practical cut. A military type. She scanned me head to toe like I was a specimen. "You're awake," she said. Finally. I blinked. Yeah, I guess I'm late." She crossed her arms. 3 years. You're 3 years late." "Oh." The others burst into laughter. Someone whistled. Someone else called out, "Guess Sleeping Beauty finally decided to join us." I rubbed the back of my neck. Cheeks burning. The military girl's face darkened. "She's gone. Or broken. Maybe both." A voice chimed in from the nest of pillows. "Or maybe she didn't want you to deal with us yet." I turned. The girl who spoke had bright violet eyes and silver blonde hair flowing like stardust. She wore nothing but an oversized shirt and a smug grin. Her legs stretched bare across the cushions, one knee bent just enough to be suggestive, but not indecent. She looked like a model trapped in a sci-fi movie. "I'm Lyra," she said, twirling a lock of hair. "And you, lucky boy, are now the only man in the galaxy with 13 women and no escape pod." My knees nearly gave out. I barely had time to process what was happening when Lyra sprang up from the pillow nest and glided toward me like a siren in zero gravity. She moved with the kind of lazy grace that made you forget how dangerous people can be when they're beautiful and bored. "So," she said, circling me. "What's your name again?" Don't say Kai, that's too easy. It's Kai. She smiled. Of course it is. Before I could reply, the sharp-eyed military girl interrupted. Don't mind her. She's been starved for male attention. All of them have. She paused. And I'm Commander Vale. I took charge when A&A failed. Took charge? Lyra scoffed. You mean bullied us into military drills at 6 a.m. because you missed boot camp? Vale's eye twitched. Structure is survival. It's insanity, Lyra muttered. I slowly raised a hand. Can someone explain why all of you are awake already? Vale sighed. We don't know. We woke up one by one over the last year. A&A was malfunctioning. Her logs were corrupted. No clear cause. No contact with Earth. No new commands. Just silence, added another girl. This one with thick glasses and a lab coat, far too big for her. I'm Nora, science officer. We tried to re-establish A&A's systems, but her core seems erased. Lyra leaned in. So we did the logical thing. We gave up, built a pillow fort, and made popcorn. Popcorn? I blinked. We grew corn in the hydroponics bay. Lyra modified the heating chamber. Explosion-based snacks. Very therapeutic, Nora said with a straight face. I love this place, I muttered. Wait till you see the sauna, someone else called from behind. The introductions took a while. There was Sarah, the quiet medic with hair like autumn leaves and a voice like a lullaby, always watching, always listening. Mira, the mechanic with oil-streaked cheeks, a tool belt slung low on her hips and a laugh like thunder. Junie, the youngest, bubbly, obsessed with old romance novels. Talia, the cold beauty with holographic tattoos that change color with her mood. Currently flickering pink and annoyed. Rin, the martial artist who meditated upside down from the ceiling. Don't ask. And several others, each more chaotic than the last. Each one of them was smart, dangerous, and absurdly attractive in completely different ways. Each one of them also seemed just a little too comfortable with the idea that I was the only guy on board. As the introductions wound down, Vale returned to business. We need to talk about sleeping arrangements. I froze. Oh no, I said. I'm sure there's a spare pod or something. I can sleep in engineering. Or cryo. Or the waste disposal unit. It's fine. Vale shook her head. The AI only prepared 13 private rooms. They're all occupied. There's the spare couch in the observatory, Nora offered. Lyra smirked. Or he can stay with me. All heads turned. She stretched again, that oversized shirt rising just enough to reveal the curve of her thigh. I pretended not to look. I failed. It'll be like college, she said. Roommates, except with better views. Absolutely not, Vale growled. Why not? Lyra grinned. Scared I'll seduce him. I'm scared you'll kill him. Please, Lyra purred, stepping closer to me. What do you say, Kai? Want to share my room? I promise I don't snore. Much. My brain short-circuited. Somewhere in the back of my mind, my mother's voice was screaming something about dignity and self-control. But all I could manage was, Lyra winked. Vale snapped. Enough! We'll draw lots. One of us will switch rooms, temporarily. I volunteer as tribute, Junie shouted, throwing her hands up. You don't even know what you're volunteering for, Mira said, rolling her eyes. Don't care. It's romantic. One guy, 13 girls, like in my books. He's obviously the secret heir to a royal bloodline and must now choose his one true love. That's not how any of this works, I said. Junie grabbed my hand. Don't worry, I'll protect your virtue. Thanks. Eventually they did draw lots, and of course, I got Lyra. She beamed. Welcome to my domain. I sighed. Her room was surprisingly clean. Sparse. The lighting was soft, blue-tinted. A galaxy mural flickered on the far wall. A faint vanilla scent hung in the air. She tossed me a blanket. Floor or bed? Your choice. Just don't drool. Drool? Most men do. I'll try to contain myself. She laughed and flopped onto the bed, pulling her shirt down modestly, but not before flashing a little more thigh than necessary. I turned away, cheeks burning. So? Why did you volunteer? She didn't answer immediately. When I glanced back, her smile was softer, quieter. Because I was tired of being surrounded by people who didn't see me, she said. And you haven't seen anything yet. My heart skipped. She rolled over. Night, Kai. Night, Lyra. I lay there on the floor, staring up at the softly pulsing galaxy above me, wondering if I'd just entered heaven, hell, or something worse. 13 women, 1 man, no escape. And I was already falling. I don't know how long I slept. Time drifts differently in space. There's no sunrise, no birdsong, just the low hum of artificial systems and the occasional click of cooling metal. That night, if you could call it that, I woke up to the sound of something off. A low tremor in the floor. At first I thought it was Lyra snoring, but no. She was motionless, breathing softly, her silver hair fanned across her pillow like starlight. Then came the clang. Metal on metal. Distant, sharp, like something snapping loose in the belly of the ship. I sat up. Lyra? I whispered. She didn't stir. The lights flickered, just for a second. Then everything went dead silent. And that's when I heard it. A voice. Not Aena, not human. A whisper, deep and electric, bleeding through the vents like static laced with intent. You were not meant to wake. My blood froze. By the time I stumbled into the corridor, the others were already there. Mira had a wrench in one hand and bedhead like a solar flare. You heard that too? Not ANA, Vale said coldly. Something else. Sarah looked shaken. I felt it. In my spine. Like it knew us. We stood in silence. Then, as if nothing had happened, the lights snapped back to full. The gravity stabilized. The ship hummed again. Calm, routine, unaware. But something had changed. And not just with the ship. Later that day, as the girls argued over diagnostics, Lyra found me in the observatory. She sat beside me without asking. You look spooked, she said softly. Maybe I am. She nodded. You should be. Nothing here is what it seems. I glanced at her. You're not just talking about the ship, are you? Nope. She paused, then offered me a protein bar. I took it. The wrapper said, chocolate strawberry, now with 12% fewer lies. Fitting. Lyra leaned back, arms behind her head, staring at the stars outside. You know, before all this, I was nobody, she said. No family. No degree. Just a pretty face and a criminal record. My eyebrows shot up. Wait, you were a criminal? She grinned. Technically, corporate espionage. Hacked a terraforming blueprint and sold it to a rival colony. Got caught. Government offered me a deal. Join the Eve Project, disappear for good. I stared. And you said yes? She looked at me, and for once there was no flirtation in her eyes. Just a quiet truth. I didn't want to die forgotten. And suddenly, I understood her. Understood all of them, maybe. 13 girls, each chosen for reasons no one would admit. None of us were saints. None of us were heroes. We were selected, because we were the ones no one would miss. That night, I lay in my temporary bed again, if you can call a folded blanket on a steel floor a bed, and stared up at the ceiling. The whisper haunted me. You were not meant to wake. Who was meant to wake? What was this mission really about? And what happened to ANA? So many questions. So many secrets. And 13 beautiful, complicated, unpredictable girls. Each one looking for something. Each one looking at me like I was more than just cargo. Just before sleep took me, Lyra whispered from her bed. Kai? Yeah? If this were a romance sim, would you choose me first? I swallowed. The silence between us buzzed like soul attention. I don't know yet, she chuckled. Good answer. And then sleep came, but not peace. 13 girls, 1 boy, a ship adrift between stars and secrets. If this was the beginning, I had no idea how deep the story would go, or how hard it would be to choose just one. From the memoirs of Rento, Earth Colonization Program Survivor.